It's Friday, which means that the focus, as always, will be on CME Weekly Closure. And in today's video, we'll be going over the condition that, if met today, would actually indicate that Bitcoin is on its big bad breakout, the big bad breakout, the triple B. I'm of the opinion that it probably doesn't happen today, but if it were to happen today, I'd be remiss not to acknowledge this and essentially look for continuation, I suppose, well into the $70,000 territory into next week. Now, keep in mind that the month of November is nearly over. Month of October is nearly over, and the big preparations on this channel now are starting to switch over in favor, of course, of November. So without further ado, let's start it off right over here, actually with a bit of a 12-hour setup. This is one of the setups that we have spoken about in the past, a very simple setup. There are a couple moving components here. One, the 12-hour time frame must be closing freshly above that red 5 exponential moving average, and then 2, the HPRO must also have a positive slope on the oscillator. Now, with that in mind, if I get rid of my damn thing right there, my bot's giving me signals in the background. We have seen these results since about late 2018, which have been, decent. Anytime that you do see a nice up and to the right equity curve, I'm happy with that. But the percent profitable, meaning that the hit rate is actually less than 50%. So we do expect, more than half of these to fail. And generally, this strategy benefits from, grabbing onto decent medium trends, medium strength trends, let's say, with average gains for the positive closing trades around about 7.5%, and for those losing trades, losing about 1.80 on average. So again, that setup long term is going to be, quite happy to play something like that out. And in this case, it actually did fire off on yesterday night's closure. Now, I'm, again, like I said, based off of the October statistics, I don't think that this is going to be the move that brings Bitcoin upwards and onwards. But hey, again, I'm just going to present the statistics as they are and say that there is yet another major chance right here. After a pretty damn big gainer for the last open trade, this one was a very, very nice one that we identified in early October at 61,116 and then closed recently here early this week on the 21st, which was also the high thus far of this rally at about 68,230. So, this one will stay open as long as Bitcoin is above that red 5. It looks like it's probably going to test it on this current period. I think it probably even closes below it, maybe even tonight, thus closing this trade at a small loss. But hey, it is in there for right now. And if Bitcoin were to play out the average move from that entry, that would put Bitcoin 7.5% to the upside, will put Bitcoin basically at prior all-time high, 73,200 or so. Now, I do think that Bitcoin will get a move like that, but probably not from this base exactly here. I do think it takes a little bit more time to mature. Again, that's just a personal subjective opinion. I can very much be wrong on that. Like, can be significantly wrong on that. Also, we should be remembering, no, we should be aware that the average amount of bars in winning trades, which my face is actually covering up right here, the average amount of bars in winning trades is 10, and the average amount of bars in losing trades is 2. So if this one is going to fail, we expect it to fail like very soon, before the weekend is over, basically. And if it does succeed, well, 10 bars on a 12-hour time frame is how many days? 5 days, again, on average, which would imply that Bitcoin would be 70,000 plus by next Tuesday. Interesting. Anyways, like I said, I actually don't think that's going to happen. It's not. I do think that it's more than likely we've probably already seen the high for this month. But again, this is a subjective opinion based upon objective statistics. Moving on from there, I do want to get into specifically the weekly closure for CME and kind of answer the question of the beginning of this video, which is, what if present would indicate that Bitcoin is it's ready. It's ready to not just break above $70,000, but really continue on with this massive breakout that I think a lot of people are waiting for. And that is very obviously and very clearly on the weekly time frame, any closure above the 61.8 level right here, which is officially at 70,600. 70,600. If Bitcoin were to do that today for CME's weekly closure, then yes, I would be looking at this as a confirmed breakout, and you should be expecting an explosive move to open up November or even next week. And because of the way that this weekly is also shaped up, and also what we went over in yesterday's video, if you want more details on what I'm about to speak about next, just reference yesterday's video. Look, at this point, this more than likely is the move here. I still think that it probably takes into next week. Again, I can be very much wrong on that. Maybe it happens today. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it doesn't happen at all. But a way to invalidate and thus validate at least medium-term bearishness, which can obviously spill on over into the higher-term time frames, but at least medium-term bearishness would be very, very simply anywhere below this week's low, especially on a daily closing basis, which is about $65,000. $65,000, highly inflated dollars, I should say, price per Bitcoin. Below there, then yeah, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to come back down, probably below 60,000 bucks. Again, I'm not of the opinion that that is the most likely scenario, but that would be my condition for that would be my criteria for validating that and invalidating any sort of major upside move from here. Again, I'm more of the opinion that Bitcoin will move to the upside from here. Also, weekly stochastic momentum will remain to the upside for Bitcoin on CME, assuming that today's closure remains above 61,937. So far, so good. About 7,000 bucks, or sorry, 6,000 bucks above that pivot as of right now. And then also be aware of some of the Friday statistics, which are very slightly, very slightly weighted in favor of positive closures versus negative closures since 2024 began. We're talking about 52, it's about 38% of those Fridays closing positively for decent gains on both sides, actually, giving us a range of likely a likely probable range similar to yesterday. To the downside, that average loss would bring us around about 66,700, and to the upside, the average gain would actually put us on new highs in the month, and that would probably be good enough to validate an actual breakout as well. Although still, I'd be going off of the weekly condition. That is the more forthright thing, or the more robust thing to be going off of. But the top side is actually just below 70,000 bucks. It's technically 69,878, about there. So, likely the range for today. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to break either side of the range today. As far as the average returns goes, I think that you more or less see an inside day. Again, really a preparation for next week. And in my opinion, again, my subjective opinion, I do think that we're probably waiting until early November. That is when things likely get fun yet again. But yeah. This has been a nice and short and sweet video. I also want to remind myself to let anyone know who's trying to currently switch over from the old website, the crowntrading.net website, to the Teachable website. If you're emailing Elsa, please, if you want to be transferred over, include your TradingView username in your email or screenshots of your receipts for purchases so that she can move your programs as quickly as possible, and that will just make the whole process so much easier. And of course, she's just one lady working right now, so she's working through everything. She's doing a damn good job, but give her a little bit of time as well. But she's at her battle station right now, and working through everything. So things are busy, but we move forwards, and all is well. With that said, I'd like to wish you the best of the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.